Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by yesterday's Indy Lights winner at Barber. Of course, that's Linus Lundqvist, and also the points leader right now. How's it going?
Good. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, no, we had a really good weekend. So just got back to Indianapolis. So yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah. So and we're really coming up into a couple. I mean, obviously, it's right back at it this weekend at the Indy Road Course, and then Detroit coming up later on, and then I believe Road America.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, it's gonna be busy. I mean, I think obviously we had the big break between St. Pete and Barber, but once Barber hit, we know that it's gonna be pretty much flat out all the way to the end of the season. I think the longest break we have is like 3 weeks. But obviously we still have some testing to do in the middle of the season. So we know that it's going to be busy now. So I took the time to enjoy the little bit of a calm 2 months that we had between St. Pete and Barber, because now it's going to get busy.
Yeah. So let's talk about that race yesterday. How the HMD guys, and we always talk about it's going to be HMD versus Andretti this season. And the HMD had a solid weekend. I know Christian did not have the best day, but overall you did well. Benjamin finished second, and a solid day for Daniel as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, as a team, it was great. We got a 1-2, and then Daniel up in P4, which was great. And I think we showed even last year with myself and David that we have a really good car around Barber, and we managed to just nail it in qualifying. We knew that it was going to be close as well, so it was just about having that 10th on your side, which we were able to have. And then the race was one of the most trickiest races I've done in a very long time, because it started off in full wet, and I felt pretty comfortable, and I think we managed to gap ourselves a little bit to Benjamin. But then as soon as the sun came out, it dried up from full wet, meaning puddles and floods, to dry track within like 30 minutes. It was incredible. So the last like 15, 16 laps were more or less in the dry. And well, the wet tire didn't hold up that great against it. So it was just about managing the tire and trying to keep some of it alive towards the end of the race. And it seemed like we judged that by down to the one lap. But obviously Benjamin did a good job, and we finished pretty much bumper to bumper. But yeah, it was a good day for the team for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about starting the race off in wet conditions, because I don't know if people remember this, but Barber got hit hard this early on Sunday, and when by the time I think it was USF 2000 got on the racetrack, it was there was not a cloud in the sky, I don't think.
Yeah.
What was it like, the transition from the wets to absolute dry conditions?
I think in the beginning it was so wet, and I never expected it to dry up. Obviously, it's for it to be drier, but never in my mind I would have thought that there's a dry line coming up. But even so, I pushed quite hard in the early 3, 4, 5 laps, and we managed to build a little bit of a gap. But even from like lap 5, when it stopped raining at the beginning of the race, and then quite quickly you start to see the puddles go away, and a dry-ish line started to appear. And then you obviously keep in touch with your engineer, and he's like, yeah, you got 20 laps to go. I'm like, gee, 20 laps, it's going to be a little bit rough. And then like another 5 laps later, there was a full on dry line. And that's when I realized like this is going to be a race about nutrition and just trying to keep some of the tire. And I remember it because I saw we had some big vibration and rubber flying off the wheels and hitting the helmet. I just got PTSD flashbacks from Gateway last year where I had my tire failure.
Yeah.
So every straight I was so worried that something was going to happen, but we're able to keep it on track and all the tires intact.
So of course you have, as I mentioned earlier, you did take the points lead. In fact, looking at my phone right now, there is you have a 9-point lead on your teammate, Benjamin Peterson, and of course and also I think you have a 11, 12, 13-point lead on Matty Brabham. So going into this week, I know it's early and it's never too early to talk about points, but what's it like to, have, I mean, I'm sure you expected to have the points lead by then, by now, but overall, how often do you think about that as a
I
driver?
think, like you said, it's a little bit early to think about the championship standings because there's a long way to go. But I also know that you score the same amount of points in the first race as in the last, which means that it's as important to win the first one as the last one. And it's always a good thing to lead the championship. Obviously, it gives both myself, but also for the team, a good boost for morale. It means that we're doing something good, and hopefully we can continue pushing. But like I said, it's too early to really think about it. The way that I think about things is that the best way to win a championship is to win races, and that's what I'm here to do. So that's just the target, and we were able to do that this weekend.
So for the first time this season, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first doubleheader race weekend that you've had?
No, so Barber was not a doubleheader. Indianapolis will be. So the next
That's what I meant. Indianapolis will be your first.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. We're
yes,
mixing
yes,
up
that's
words.
right.
Yeah. So my question on
yeah,
that,
no, Indianapolis will.
yes.
Yeah.
So my question
yeah.
on that, so my question on that is, first doubleheader weekend for you guys this year.
Mhm.
What's that going to be like? Because you only had one race at St. Pete. You only had one race at Barber. Now you have two races at Indy. What's that going to be like to deal with that? Just not just for one, but for two as well.
Yeah, exciting. I think the more driving, the more exciting it is for us drivers. I don't think it's going to be that different considering all of last year we had doubleheader weekend, so it's almost going to be a little bit closer to normal in that case. And it's nice. Indianapolis is a track I think all of us drivers know well. We spent a lot of laps around that place. It's pretty close to home for me as well, which is nice. And we were faster last year as well. So happy that we got the doubleheader there. We'll see what we can do, but like I said, the more racing, the more fun it is.
Yeah, always. It's always exciting. And I'm sure, and David provided that last year in Indy Lights.
Yeah.
So it should be a good one this weekend. What's so how many times have you raced there, you think?
I mean, I only did the two races last year and given I've only been in the US, this is my third year. So
Right.
A lot of the guys obviously has been here their whole life racing on circuits like that one. But I think just obviously we had some testing. We had an official test, a serious test not too long ago on that track. And some of the guys obviously did the Chris Griffiths test, which is usually there at the end of the year. I didn't do that, but I know a lot of the guys has had some good laps around this place. And it is actually the place where I did my first and so far only IndyCar test. So I gotten around that place pretty fast as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, Linus Lundqvist, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and look at the Indy Road Course this weekend.
Thanks very much, man. I appreciate it.